So this topic is going to talk about that how Shift2 helps to integrate with the Magento Commerce. And before jumping into the actual slides, let me give a brief introduction. This is Barani, working at ZTech as a lead AEM developer, and we just talk about that how SIF works to get on Magento Commerce. So before that, I'm keep going to talk about so many words like an AEM. So I'm going to talk about that AEM first, then actually jumping into that bunch of slides. So AEM stands for Adobe Experience Manager, which helps at the comprehensive content management tool that maintains that content and assets and deliver that various websites into that various channels. And it also maintains that other Adobe product suites like a Target and other tools. So now it's coming into the point, SIF Cloud. So SIF is a commerce integration framework and developed by Adobe, which enables that integrate into that various commerce platform like a Magento and IBM Commerce and other cloud solutions. And if you're managing that any CRM tool, this also helps us to integrate into that. And if you are using that, any kind of other third-party system also that helps out. And also it heavily uses Adobe I/O runtime. So this Adobe I/O runtime, it provides that develop your code and deploy it as a serverless microservices. That's all it's talk about that SIF. And also being as Adobe customer, if you want to deliver that personalized experience, your commerce, this helps deliver to the different omni-channels. And how it helps to develop my day-to-day activities. If you are developing your tool, it basically provides that one commerce connector. You back-end and front-end keep changing that. Based on that, you need not to change that your one commerce connector. You just maintain that only one, and you connect to that various endpoints, your back-end and front-end. In that way, right? You just focus on that one Shift2 commerce connector. And the other advantage is it provides that cloud-based solutions, and where you can use that serverless, it supports that. And also, you can develop that code by using the microservices, where you can deploy that your code very faster way into that, your Adobe I/O. And other advantages, this is not specific to particular technologies. If you are developing using that Node, or if you are comfortable with basic JavaScript, and other technologies like a Java or any kind of technology it supports, where you can develop that small microservices and deploy into that your Adobe I/O by using that serverless. And the product catalog, basically that Magento is a source of truth where you are managing that lot of products and catalogs. So if you are writing the code, you need not to manage it in your front-end side. You can manage it in the backend like the Magento. By using this code, you can pull that all the detail and just get it out in the front-end side. And also it supports your GraphQL. GraphQL is the way it's going right now. And if you use that GraphQL and it exposes an endpoint, and you can access the GraphQL. And there are certain things where the GraphQL is not supported. And in this case, you can use that the REST API to pull all the detail and store it in our AEM side. So that is another advantage by using that Adobe I/O. Okay, so the next talk about that, the overall architecture. This is Adobe recommended architecture, and if you are using that any platform in the backend side, that is what you are seeing that extreme right-hand side. And if you are seeing that middle layer, that is Adobe I/O runtime. And the Adobe I/O runtime, there is a two namespace. One, you can develop your own namespace, and also you can still leverage that what is Adobe namespace is available. And the front-end side, you can keep changing that. So as we speak, we are using that AEM, but also you can also use that different front-end side where you can pull the data. And Adobe Gateway is available where whatever you are developing as a microservices, that is exposed as REST or GraphQL, and that comes through that gateway, so that the front-end can point to that particular URL and fetch that all the detail from backend. And the solution one, okay, so I'm using that only the Magento particular version. So I want to, Magento is a source of truth where I manage that all the products and catalogs. yeah, AEM as my front end. So how I can fetch that all the detail. So here the solution one is providing all the information. Backend is my Magento some XYZ version, and AEM is my front end. And I am using that there are certain point I'm using that GraphQL, and there are certain point I am using that the REST URL to fetch the data. And the storefront actually what are the storefronts being used in the AEM side by using that components. So the components is where you have experience fragments is one of them, and all the product detail and product list and all those things listed out as a component, and you can use it connect to that backend. GraphQL, for example, if you are fetching the list of catalogs list of products, so then you can use that GraphQL to pull that all the detail. And there are certain things is still evolving. We use that the REST API to get that your current cart and also your other checkout process. And the solution to your Magento is still is going to same, but you want to talk to that different endpoints or different third-party solutions. For example, you are maintaining that your CRM where you maintain all the data. The Magento is planning to connect that. Then in this case, the Adobe I/O is coming into the picture. So Magento and in talk to that different third-party system, and it comes through that Adobe I/O, and you can leverage that the GraphQL and build that your own stuff, and content aggregation is going to come into the picture by using that Adobe I/O. And after that you can expose as a GraphQL, then AEM is going to consume that all the data. So in this case, so you need not to maintain that any information on the AEM side, and this way is like provide complete headless information where AEM need not to know that who you are talking to that and who you are connecting to that all the detail, and it comes through that the I/O. So the key winning point here is, as I already said earlier, the Magento is a source of truth. So you are not going to maintain that any product and catalog information. So only everything comes from the Magento. So the AEM doesn't know who you are connecting that. So everything comes through that I/O using that serverless and microservices. So I'm going to show the demo how we connected using that Magento and Adobe I/O. So you are going to see that demo. So you are seeing that homepage of Adobe Experience Manager, which connects to that, Magento is my backend. So here in this page is combination of both AEM and Magento. So when you see that, carousel, there's a list of images we pulled out. So this image is coming from AEM. The AEM stores actual images. So where the content author comes and change that, all the images. For example, the holiday seasons are coming up. So you want to focus on that, hey, the fall season is coming up. I want to do some advertisement. So author can provide that some image with, some promotional offer here. And also if you want to target that specific audience, you can also target it, based on that, audience preferences and the audience, what they wanted. Based on that, content author can, provide that images. And below that, you will see that varieties of images which states that what is a brand you are planning to use it, and these are all coming from Magento. And this one is small navigation based on that what is your top seller, and what is that particular categories you are using it. So those things are all coming from Magento. And below is the footer. Footer is completely driven by AEM, where content author come and change it. Today you are adding that useful links. Tomorrow it could be something else. So then content author can change it. And the top one, the one you are seeing, that this is completely a combination of both AEM and Magento. So how do I differentiate that? We just added for the demo purpose. If you click it, right, then there is an image which shows it here. There are certain links coming from Magento. There's a Magento logo. There are certain things coming from AEM where you will see that, okay, there is a logo. So if you mouse over it, you will see that, okay, so there's a tops and bottoms is a subcategories. And this is an image. Mecha menu shows certain image and featured products. This is all coming from AEM. I want to walk you through that, how that my listing page is going to get the detail from the backend. So I click that, my link. Okay, so this is product listing page. We use that, Lumino out-of-the-box Magento store to pull that all the detail. So it shows that pretty much, what is available in the store, and you'll see that, list of products. So the list of products, if you mouse over it, then you'll see that, what is the actual image and the price and the quantity, and we have added the buttons, to add to cart. So as we speak, we just focused only on simple product, not, configurable product. So this is configurable product, so we just, provide only add to cart for the simple products. And the next one is, product detail page. So if you click that, particular products, it will take you to that detail page. So the detail page is completely Magento, so where you will see that, image and the product name and price and the description, all the information which is coming from Magento, and also the reviews. Yeah, the reviews. And below that, there is a related product. This is also coming from Magento, which is configurable based on that product. You clicked it here. If any related products you added, that is shown over here. And I'm going to walk you through that, how we can do the add to cart. For example, before that, I need to log into that system. So after the login, you are going to see that my account page, which shows that, who you logged in and all the information. And if you have any default billing and shipping address, you are going to see it. And if you placed any recent orders, there is a My Order section which will show you that, what is your order. Yeah, this is my recent order. And pretty much we use that, frames to get that, pull that all the detail from Magento, so that AEM will provide headers and footers, and Magento is a snippet, provide that, all the my account page information. Okay, so the next is I want to show that, how you can add the simple product into your shopping cart. Okay. So I have already, 2 items into that my cart. So if you click it here, you are going to see that, there are 2 items into my cart. Okay, if I want to add this back into that my item, just you click here, and you'll be able to see that, okay, so there is item is added to the cart, and you can click here. This will show that there are 3 items into the cart, which I recently added, which comes in the top, and the total will be shown over here. This is because this is a simple product. Okay, so the next one is I'm going to the view cart. So the view cart, AEM is providing glass to the, Magento to get the data. So here you are going to see that list of product which you added it, and the recent one comes in the top, and you are going to see that, total information, and the rest of is, still we are, building that as we speak. So once it is done, that probably the version 2 will come out that, what is a promotional code and another calculating information based on that your zip and state. And there is another one which is proceed to checkout. So the checkout will completely take into that Magento out-of-the-box checkout experience. So this will take here, and it will show that, what is your shipping address and what are the items is available over here. And if you want to add any shipping methods, and you can select it, and you click and you place the order. So this will completely provide that, the seamless shopping experience where you can, select the item and place into that, cart, and complete finish that, checking out end to end by using AEM and Magento with using, SIF 2. Okay, with that I'm done. Thank you.